So the FOD's claiming victims like crazy here. My 96 two-door Tahoe. I guess maybe the master cylinder's going bad and maybe the booster. When you start it up, you press on the brake. I don't know if you can hear that. It's like air's just bleeding. Doesn't feel like it has power brakes. Plus at times it's idle, like it's starting to idle funny and run funny. Me and my old boy were trying to look to see if that line is wet for the brake booster, the vacuum line. He's saying maybe it's putting fluid. If the master cylinder's bad, putting fluid sucking it into the intake. We are low on fluid. Plus, the rear end's been clanking and getting bad. So I have I can't remember what year it is, but it's like a Z71 or heavy duty 14 bolt semi floater, so it's still 6 lug. I can't remember the ring gear size. Huge upgrade over that stock half-ton axle, and I believe it's going to be pretty much a direct bolt-in. All right, we got the 10 bolt puny BS. Swapped out with the 14 bolt semi floater, which granted it's not a full floater, you know, the real beast of an axle, but it's gonna be plenty for this thing. Everything lines up. The old brake lines are gonna work, because the ones that came with this 14 bolt were kind of rusty. The spring purchase line up. The shock mounts line up. The only thing we don't know about yet is the emergency brake hookups. Let's see about that. But worst case, I'm gonna get a disc brake conversion for the 14 bolt, and I'll just get the parking brake upgrade. All right, back out here in the shop. It's been a little while. Kind of messed up my foot. I can finally put weight on it. So if you can see, these are the spring plates or U-bolt plates that were on the smaller axle. I finally found the ones that came with this axle, so they'll fit better. If I didn't find the ones that go to this axle, I was just going to trim these out. I read on the internet where you aren't supposed to do that because it makes these super weak. It seems like BS to me, but I mean, I guess. We did get these Endura pins in for these sagging ass doors. They're supposed to be tool steel. Supposed to be that badass, so tool steel and chromed. Anyway, got the conversion joint, which I think I talked about in a previous video. And I got these straps, which work because I didn't have straps. So these are the straps. Let's see. I haven't installed. So this is actually the conversion joint right here. So got to install the conversion joint. Got to tap, chase these with the tap. We'll swap out to the correct U-bolt plates. And I'm not even gonna mess with the parking brake here in the next couple months. I'm gonna order a disc brake conversion kit for this 14-bolt semi-floater, and I'm gonna get the optional parking brake with it. And I think that's where we're at. I'm gonna use the brake lines that were on the truck. Looks like they'll fit good. Make sure that they're the right thread size, because it's in a little better shape. There we go. All right, we got the old brake lines. Those are what came on the truck with the smaller axle. So I mounted up the brake lines that were on the smaller axle. Everything's lined up pretty damn good. So I'm fixing to, we'll pull this, check the fluid, change it, see what everything looks like in there. The conversion U-joint fit like a glove, and the straps were perfect. Here's the U-bolt plates that came off this axle, and we talked about it earlier in the video. I mean, you see there's even a gap on these. Of course, there's a little more of a gap with the stock axle U-bolt plates, but I don't think all that's that big a deal. If you don't have these plates that came with this 14-bolt semi-floater, just trim it up a little bit, and the ones from your stock axle, you'll be fine. The other thing is the emergency brake cables. I'm not messing with them. I just chopped them off because they were already messed up. Well, so the axle came with cut emergency brake lines, and you can see here's my stock ones. This one goes to the passenger, or no, sorry, driver, and the passenger one is looped up way up under there. All these brackets for everything are a little different from the 14-bolt. The stuff that came on the 14-bolt right there to the stuff that was on this truck, but I'm using everything that was on the truck. This is from what was on the axle, and you can see I don't see any reason why you couldn't use your stock stuff to hook up the emergency brake. I'm gonna go with disc brake conversion soon, so I'm not worried about it. Another thing that kind of, for me, puts it into perspective, so to speak, is look at the brake drums alone. That kind of, to me, says a lot about the beef of this 14-bolt semi-floater versus that 10-bolt. I mean, so much beefier. All right, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and pull this diff cover and look at trying to put new diff oil in, see what it looks like. is dry. Well, I think what we did, I was sitting here thinking about it. I think we looked at the gear set quite some time ago and, you know, drained it when we obviously pulled the cover off. But everything looks really, I mean, it looks good to me. That doesn't mean much, but there's just a little bit of, there's not really much on the magnet here. All right, so we'll refill it with some gear oil and clean all this up and put the cover back on. All right, guys, got the axle all in, brake lines all hooked up. Now we're just putting the diff lube in, and then ready to set it down and finish up the hydro boost. So got this 14-bolt semi-floater out of Z71 into this 1500 Tahoe. Everything went in really smooth. Just used like the U-bolt plates from the truck because it was a little bigger. Noted that in the video. But other than that, it everything went in real nice. Everything lined up. Brake lines, shocks, everything, spring perches. So once we get this hydro boost situation fixed, we'll test drive it. I'm just going to pull it out so I can get the Silverado back in the shop because RMRW is coming up quick and I want to get it going. Later, guys.